speak for about 2 hours?
Yeah, about 2 hours. Well, no, not more than
Is
an
it
hour.
enough, like,
Not more than an
report?
hour and 30 minutes goes like this.
Yeah, it's not about 40 minutes or so. Here, Rabbi, Shalom Aleichem. My name is Zave Rudmen, Rabbi Zave Rudmen. I was actually the dorm counselor in Dove the first year it started. I survived the experience. I was a night city Rabbi. I've known Rabbi Gronowski for a long time, probably about 40 years.
More than 40 years.
When the yeshiva came to Eretz Yisrael in 1977. Yeah, that's more than, wow, that's a long time.
42 years.
42 years, wow. Tough.
We're still friends, look at that.
So you guys have a chance to stand a chance. You can still be friends with him in 40 years from now. So, Erev Slichas, what do we do? Right? What are we doing? Elul, Slichas. What's the Seder Avodah? Like, we do all kinds of things. We blow shofar, we say Davar Shemayri, we listen to Musar Shmuzim. Tonight we'll stay up late and say Slichas. And the whole week we'll get up every morning early and say Slichas. But what are we supposed to be doing? What's our goal? So our goal is to get to Shana Yom Kippur. But how are we supposed to get there? Why? How do all of these different things add up together to a series of steps that take us from Ben Azmanim through Elul all the way up to Rosh Hashana Yom Kippur? So let's start, even though it's already Chaf Aleph Elul, Chaf Beis tonight. Where did this all come from? So if we go back, there really wasn't supposed to be Elul or Hashana Yom Kippur. There was supposed to be Yom Kippur. There's a question that I had for many years. There's, in the calendar, the way that the Jewish calendar was created, Rosh Hashanah can't come out on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. Lo Adu Rosh. Now, Adam Rishon was created on Erev Shabbos. And that Erev Shabbos was Aleph Tishrei, which means we can never have a Rosh Hashanah that's an exact replica of the original Rosh Hashanah. Right? Rosh Hashanah can't come out on Erev Shabbos. The original Rosh Hashanah was Erev Shabbos. So for some reason we cannot recreate the original Rosh Hashanah. Why is that? Now, it seems to be, if Rosh Hashanah is Hayom HaRasalam, today's day the world was created, and part of the davening is about how we connect to the idea that today the day was Adam Rishon was created, according to some ways of understanding Tkiyah Shofar. It's we ourselves are reenacting Vayipach Ba'apav Nishmas Chaim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu blew into Adam Rishon the Neshama, and how blowing the shofar is in some way connected to that idea. So why can't it be on an Erev Shabbos the way it was? Adam Rishon was created Erev Shabbos. He was supposed to follow the appropriate avodah on that day. He was supposed to be created. He was supposed to have a chavah taken from him. He was supposed to do all these different things. So he didn't. But when we do Rosh Hashanah, we can never actually have another Rosh Hashanah like Adam Rishon. This question bothered me. And I asked at one point this question to Rosh Shapiro Zatzal. And he told me the following answer. Yom Kippur is when we do tshuva for all the chatam in the world, including the chet of Adam Rishon. Adam Rishon wasn't supposed to have Yom Kippur. Adam Rishon was supposed to go straight from his creation through a perfect Erev Shabbos into Shabbos, and that Shabbos would be Yom Shekulo Shabbos. That Shabbos would have been a complete Shabbos. And we would have never had another Yom Rishon. We never had another Sunday. So Adam Rishon could have Erev Shabbos on Friday because there wasn't supposed to be Yom Kippur. We, though, because of Yom Kippur, can't have Rosh Hashanah on Erev Shabbos. Because if Rosh Hashanah comes out Erev Shabbos, it means Yom Kippur comes out on Sunday. And we can't have 2 days in a row of Shabbos one after the other. So therefore, really what we're trying to do through all of Rosh Hashanah, the entire Seder Avodah we're doing from Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Seres Tshuva, Yom Kippur, is to bring ourselves back to that place. Now there was a time when Klal Yisrael was on the level of Adam Rishon before the Chet. That was after Matan Torah. Klal Yisrael got the Torah, it says Choros ala Luchos. It was inscribed in Klal Yisrael that there was no Malach HaMavos, there was no Satan, there was no Yetzer Hara. We say in the Shir Shel Yom of Tuesday, of Yom Shlishi, Ani Amarti Elokim Atem, Uvnei Elyon Kulchem. Klal Yisrael, when we got the Torah, we were all the way up there. We were like Adam Rishon before the Chet. And we hung in there for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 30 days, till day 39 and a half. And then we blew it. So therefore, Shavuos B'Tammuz, Moshe Rabbeinu comes down, we're dancing around the Egel, and the luchos are broken. And it takes another 2 sets of 40 days till we get back to where we were, right? Shavasar B'Tammuz, Luchos are broken. From Shavasar B'Tammuz to Rosh Chodesh Elul, Moshe Rabbeinu was on Har Sinai, trying for davening to Chodesh Baruch Hu, that Chodesh Baruch Hu should not destroy us. Moshe Rabbeinu comes down on Rosh Chodesh Elul and says, Klai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu accepted my tefillos. There's going to be a second Matan Torah. I'm going back up to Shemayim, and I'm going to receive the Torah again. And that process is going to end on Yom Kippur. So what did Klal Yisrael do during those 40 days? Meaning, when we start Rosh Chodesh Elul, we're tapping in to the Koyach of Klal Yisrael. When they went back to receive the Torah a second time, from Rosh Chodesh Elul through to the end of the Aseres Yemei through Yom Kippur. So therefore, the fact that there's Elul and Aseres Yemei is not just, okay, there's going to be Yom Kippur, we got to get ready, we got to do what we can in order to be ready for Yom Kippur. It's a special time of the year where we once again reenact what Klal Yisrael did during those 40 days in the year 2448 when the Torah was given. So it's not, just like on Pesach we go back to Mitzrayim. It says, Leila Seder, we do all these things to reenact going out of Mitzrayim. And Shavuos is we go back to Matan Torah, we stay up all night like we're getting ready for Matan Torah. Elul is, we are tying ourselves back to the Jews who came out of Mitzrayim, the ones who received the Torah, and the ones who managed to blow it and cause the luchos to be broken. But on the next time around, on Rosh Chodesh Elul, Moshe Rabbeinu says to them, go back, get ready a second time, because we're going to get another Torah, and get ready during these 40 days in order to receive the Torah a second time. That's what we're doing during Elul. It's not just we're getting ready, but we're tapping into the power of Klal Yisrael, who spent those 40 days getting ready for Matan Torah. Now, we're all familiar with the Yetzer Hara. Some of us more, some of us less, some of us he's a close companion of ours, some of us he's always with us. But we all know the Yetzer Hara never gives up. We know that, the Yetzer Hara never gives up. If a person does an Avera once, the Yetzer Hara is there, I got you once, let me get you a second time. And even if you say to yourself, fool me once, fool me twice, the Yetzer Hara doesn't give up. The Yetzer Hara, if he got us to do an Avera once, he's like, okay, I can get you to do an Avera the second time. So Klal Yisrael during those 40 days are trying to be as careful as they can that they don't do the Chet HaEgel the second time. But just as much as we're doing whatever we can to not do it a second time, the Yetzer Hara is trying to get us to do it a second time. So that Elul, after the first Chet HaEgel, is a hand-to-hand combat between us and the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara says, I got you to do it once, I'll get you to do it a second time. And we're saying, we're not so dumb. You got us once, you're not going to get us a second time. So what did they do to make sure they didn't do a Chet HaEgel a second time? Because as much as each and every one of us say, you know what, the Yetzer Hara won. He got me to sleep with Shachris this morning. But he's not going to let me do it. I'm not going to do it tomorrow. The Yetzer Hara goes, haha, you think you're going to get out? I'm not going to do it a second time? Watch, I'm going to get you to do it a second time. And that's getting up for Shachris. Even big Averis. The person feels really bad, and the person does really as Charah, and feels really bad. The Yetzer Hara is like, what, you think I'm not going to get you to do it a second time? So therefore, every single one of us, when we do an Avera, we need to do something special so the Yetzer Hara can't win again. So what did Klal Yisrael do that Elul? They knew they did a Chet HaEgel. They knew Yetzer Hara was going to try to get them to do it a second time. So they made a takana. They made themselves a special thing to remind themselves, we're not going to let the Yetzer Hara do this again. And every morning after Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Har Sinai on Rosh Chodesh Elul, every morning Klal Yisrael got together and they blew the shofar to remind themselves, we're not going to let the Yetzer Hara get us to do it again. And the first day they blew the shofar, and the second day they blew the shofar, the whole Elul they blew the shofar. Not because Rosh Hashana is coming. I always thought, for example, many years ago in David, when I was here, I used to be without Tekiah. Gronowski was the Makri. We got along very well. And we were cool. But I would blow the shofar, and I always had this thought in the back of my mind that why do we blow shofar in Elul? Because the Baltki have to practice. Baltki has to practice. So, let's blow shofar every morning during Elul. It wasn't because of that. We blow shofar during Elul because it ties us back to what Klal Yisrael did that Elul. And every morning, everyone got together and said, we're not going to let the Yetzer Hara do it to us again. And we blow shofar. And every single day there was combat with the Yetzer Hara. We blew shofar. The Yetzer Hara tried to get us to mess up again. And there was this ongoing fight between us and the Yetzer Hara. What was the culmination? The final battle royal between us and the Yetzer Hara took place on Erev Yom Kippur. The Yetzer Hara said on the last day when Moshe Rabbeinu was supposed to come down the first time, Erev Shavuos B'Tammuz, I got you to build an egel. You know what? I'm going to get you to build an egel a second time. And that Erev Yom Kippur, there was this fight between us and the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara wasn't giving up. I'm going to get you to do the Avera a second time. And we fought him. And the second time we won. And every year we have that same battle. It goes through Elul, we blow the shofar. It comes to Rosh Hashana. And the final culmination is Erev Yom Kippur. So what's your ammunition to fight against the Yetzer Hara? Torah and mitzvahs. Baruch Hu said, you know what? Erev Yom Kippur, which is the culmination, the end of the battle against the Yetzer Hara, I'm going to give you a very special mitzvah so you can overcome the Yetzer Hara. It's actually the easiest mitzvah of all 613 mitzvahs to do. It's a mitzvah deraisa in Erev Yom Kippur to eat. It's a mitzvah to eat. Baruch Hu said, what's going to protect you against the Yetzer Hara? You eat on Erev Yom Kippur. Because you're involved in a mitzvah, the Yetzer Hara can't really get you. Rav Scheinberg, I don't know if anyone here, I'm sure people are familiar with him. Granovsky was very close with him. Used to sucking candies a whole Erev Yom Kippur. Because it's a mitzvah. And I've been doing a mitzvah, it protects me against the Yetzer Hara. So the first thing is Elul, the whole process of Elul, is to not just to reenact. We're fighting the same battle he did. We're fighting the battle that our ancestors did against the Yetzer Hara. Because even though on the one hand, it's the holiest time of the year coming up to Hashana and Yom Kippur, it's the time when the Yetzer Hara is fighting against us. Because he knows how important it is. So therefore we blow shofar, we say Lo David. It's all to remind us what's going on. That's the beginning. That's the first part. The second thing we do is every year before Rosh Hashana we lay nitzavim. What is nitzavim? Atem nitzavim b'yom kolchem l'fnei Hashem Elokechem. We're standing before Hashem, everyone. Roshechem, Shiftechem, Ziknechem, Shiftechem, Kol Ish Yisrael, Tabchem, Nesheim, Gerchem. Everyone is standing there. What does it mean nitzavim, to stand in front of Hashem? So it's brought down, it's Fasemis among others, that the word nitzavim comes from the word matzeva. Now the word matzeva usually means the monument, the tombstone on someone's tomb. What does that mean though? What is written on a tombstone? Someone is niftal elei, and the family get together to write something. What do they want to try to write? They want to write something that defines whom the person is. They want to somehow or other sum up the person's life in those few short words. No one here is dying, as Hashem. But every year you need to write a matzeva on that year. Every year you have to sit down and think to yourself, what did I accomplish? But not just what did I accomplish. What did I accomplish that I can write down in stone? When you write something in stone, it's engraved forever. You can't erase stone. You can break the stone. You can sand it away so that the whole stone is gone. You can't erase stone. Everyone accomplishes. Every year. You might also not accomplish. You might not do some things. You might do some things that are imperfect. But a person looks back over the entire year. There are accomplishments. I did things. And those things, at the end of the year, you have to make a matzeva. You have to look back and say to yourself, what did I do positive? What can I take into Rosh Hashanah that's positive? Because we all know one of the Yetzer Hara's biggest tools is to put ourselves down. He doesn't let us see what's good. You know, in some stores, you go try and clothes, they have trick mirrors. They make you look thinner than you are, they make you look bulkier than you are. Whatever it is, they try to make you look better in your clothes. The Yetzer Hara also has a trick mirror. The Yetzer Hara's trick mirror is we look in the mirror, it puts us down, makes us smaller, makes us more depressed, makes us unhappy. He says, look in the mirror, who are you? You're nothing. You're garnished. You didn't do anything. Think of all the tefillas you missed. Think of all the times you bottled. Think of all the Lashon Hara you said. You know, how can you even walk into Yom Kippur Rosh Hashanah? You should be embarrassed to come to Shul on Rosh Hashanah. You're going to stand there with your machzor in front of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. You're fake. You're a fraud. That's the mirror the Yetzer Hara tries to hold up to us. Atem nitzavim. Think about the things you did. Think about the accomplishments. Think about the Shabbosos. Think about the tefillos when you did daven. Those of you in Eretz Yisrael, think about the times you went to the Kotel and you felt something. Think about the learning you did do. Think about the times when you had a really great thing to tell someone and you managed to restrain yourself. Those things are Amat Seva. Those things are everlasting. At the end of the year, we lay Atem Nitzavim. Moshe Rabbeinu says to Klal Yisrael after 40 years, you're Nitzavim. Yes, the Midbar was a difficult time. There were all the different nisyonos that Klal Yisrael went against the Kodesh Baruch Hu. There was Chet Egel, there was Mora, there was Kairach, there was the Meraglim, there was Baal Pa'or. But there were unbelievable things. We are Mekabel Torah. We learned Kol HaTorah Kula. We divided up Eretz Yisrael. We were Talmid of Moshe Rabbeinu. Atem Nitzavim. Look at what's permanent. Good is permanent. Bad isn't. The word bad, ra, in Lashon HaKodesh, comes from the word ra'ua. Something which is shaky. Something which is shaky is going to come down. Don't worry, that's not going to last. Nitzavim. Each and every one of us over this week, when we lay Nitzavim, we mavir Parsha Nitzavim. We look at Parshas Nitzavim, Parsha class on Nitzavim. Just the word itself, Nitzavim. It's something that's powerful. It's something that exists. It's something that's real. Find those things. Find those things that are positive. Atem Nitzavim. The things that are established. One of the things to do this week is work on that. Find what's Nitzavim. And be able to stand up and say, I accomplished. Because once we come from a place like that, we're a whole different person. We're able to look ourselves in a real mirror and see who we are. Not the trick house mirror, the distorted mirror that the Yetzer Hara wants us to look in and become sad and depressed and not be able to be Oved Hashem. But tonight we're starting, so different steps as we get ready. Elul is the battle against the Yetzer Hara. We blow shofar, and we're warriors, ready to fight against it. The Yetzer Hara doesn't want us to do this, so we have to be nitzavim. We have to look back at the year and talk about what's positive, what we've accomplished, what we've done. But tonight, we start slichas. So what is slichas? Get up in the middle of the night, 12:30. We want to be asleep. If we're not asleep, we want to be doing things that are different. And we're going to say slichas. And every morning for the rest of the week, we're going to get up early and say words that a lot of it we don't understand. And every day it's something different. And we can say Yud Gimel Midos Harachim, Hashem, Hashem, Kel Rachum, B'chan, and over again. What are we actually doing? What are we trying to do? So let's start by trying to understand. Let's understand our Avodas Hashem, the way we serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If we don't understand, what does it do? It's much easier to do something and feel something, connect to something. They have a little bit of understanding, not just of what the words mean that we have in English, slichas if we have one, but what are we trying to do? What is it that we're trying to work through? So let's say it like this. Let's start with the Yud Gimel Midos. We say over and over again, starting from today. Each slichas we say 3, 4, 5 times. We say Hashem, Hashem, Kel Rachum, B'chan, till we finally get to Yom Kippur. And Kipur, over and over and over again, we say these Yud Gimel Midos Harachim. Till finally we get to Ne'ilah. If you look at Ne'ilah, Nila is basically, we just say the Yud Gimel Midos Harachim Hashem Hashem Karachim Mechanun Erchapayim Chesed Emes Nezachet. We say these over and over again. We end Yom Kippur with that. What are we trying to do? So, if you think about it, what was the difference between the first Matan Torah and the second Matan Torah? There actually were two Matan Torahs. We got the Torah on Shavuos, but that Matan Torah, the Luchos were broken. That Matan Torah didn't last. The real Matan Torah that we have is on Yom Kippur. That's when Moshe Rabbeinu came down with the second Luchos, and those are the ones that we have. What do we get? Truth is, it was the same Luchos. It was the same words. Aside from Zohar or Shomer, a few other little differences between them. But what was given to us extra by the second Matan Torah? What do we connect to? So the answer is, you know what we got in the second Matan Torah on Yom Kippur? We didn't get it on the first Matan Torah. We actually got the Yud Gimel Midos Harachim. The first Matan Torah, we didn't need the Yud Gimel Midos Harachim. To go back to what we said earlier, on the first Matan Torah on Shavuos B'Tammuz, if we would have, there would have been a Chet HaEgel. We wouldn't have needed Yud Gimel Midos Harachim. We wouldn't have needed 13 attributes of mercy. Where Hashem says, I'm going to accept you, and I have lots of patience for you, and I remember your chesed. We wouldn't have needed that, because we were perfect. We counted 40 days from Matan Torah, we reached the 49th level of Kedusha, we're all the way up there. You don't need Rachamim, you don't need Slichos. You don't need someone to accept you as flawed, and still love you. If you're not flawed, if you're perfect. Yom Kippur is a Matan Torah for people who are imperfect. We got on Yom Kippur that Kodesh Baruch Hu loves us, even if we're not perfect. In fact, you know what we got on Yom Kippur, the second Matan Torah? What we got was the mitzvah of tshuva. We got the fact that Kodesh Baruch Hu loves us, even if we do a chet, if we do the greatest chet of all. We're over by desire. Kodesh Baruch Hu loves us anyways. What we got in the second Matan Torah was that special love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is defined in Hashem Kel Rachum V'Chanun. Hashem means Hashem loves us before a chet, Hashem loves us after a chet. Imagine a child, I assume this is true about most of you, who's perfect, whose parents, I don't know, when their parents come to PTA, the teachers stand up for them. Wow, you're so-and-so's father? You're so-and-so's mother? I have to stand up for you. Right? And tells them how great the kid is. The kind of the kid at home where the mother says take out the garbage, the kid hangs up his phone and says, sure mom, you take the garbage, I'm hanging up my best friend, I'm taking the garbage right away. Kind of kid who's perfect. Right? That was the original Matan Torah. But maybe a kid like that, somewhere in the back of their mind, doesn't know if their parent really loves them or loves the fact that they're perfect. So therefore, they don't really know. There's something a little bit missing. But when they see, even if they mess up, someone told me the other day, the first time they drove their car, their parents' car, they got their license, they got the car, parents say, you got your license, their new license came in the mail, parents says, you got your new license, here are the keys, take the car for a ride. That night, this is even funnier, this is a different story, but it's the same idea. Parents gave them the car keys, says, okay, you can drive the car now, but you know, if you drive the car, you got to fill it up with gas. Took the car, went to the local gas station, put in the hose, starts up the pump, finishes, goes to the car, starts the motor, starts driving away with the thing still in the back of their car. Okay? They knocked over the whole pump. Would your parents give you the keys a second time? Kodesh Baruch Hu gave us the keys again. So you know what? You messed up. But you know what? Here's the Torah back. I trust you. You do it right this time. You know, this Torah includes that I'm Erech Apayim, that I love you no matter what. That's the Matan Torah of Yom Kippur. So leading up to Yom Kippur, where is that defined? In Yud Gimel Midos Harachim. Not just Kodesh Baruch Hu loves us one way. Not Kodesh Baruch Hu accepts us with all our flaws, with all of our mistakes. He has 13 different ways to accept us. He's Erech Apayim, he has lots of patience. Notzer Chesed, he remembers the good that we did. Right? All these different ways. He also just, Kodesh Baruch Hu sits down and defines us 13 different ways that he loves us. So we go through that. That as we begin from now, we approach Rosh Hashana, through Rosh Hashana, Seres, to make tshuva, over and over we repeat it. We repeat it to Hashem. and repeat it to ourselves. Once again, to repeat to ourselves how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us. So then we can really accept it. And we can act in that way. Because we know that someone trusts us. And someone wants us. With the parts of us that aren't perfect. So then, we react in the same way. In a sense, the new Matan Torah of Yom Kippur is a Torah from Ali Tshuva. It's a Torah of people, it's a different Torah. It's a Torah on the level of Tshuva. When was it? It was Rosh Chodesh. Where are we now? It's 3 weeks ago already. I came back from Chutz La'aretz. I was there. My niece got married on Rosh Chodesh Elul. The wedding was a morning wedding. It started at 11 o'clock. The morning was over by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 2 hours later, we were on the plane coming back to Eretz Yisrael. We didn't want to miss the beginning of this man. We came back, and a very close friend of mine, my morning chavrusa, made a chasna for his son that we missed. So we basically went from the airport to Sheva Brachos. And we got there, the Sheva Brachos, and my chavrusa's family is all very musical. They've written beautiful songs, they sing beautifully. And there was a brother, one of the brothers was there with his guitar at the Sheva Brachos. He taught us a new song. And it's based on a medrash. And the medrash says, Amar Rabbi Alexandri, one of the Amoraim says, that a hedyot, a regular person, if he has damaged kalim, damaged pots, pans, dishes, vessels, utensils, it's a gnai. It's beneath him to use such a thing. Come to someone's house, and their china is chipped. Regular person, their china is chipped, they throw it away. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves using shattered vessels. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves. Lama, why? Leiv nishbar v'nitke elokim lo tivzeh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves people whose heart is broken. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves. Because that's the carbon that he wants. The Maral explains this in the Sivat Tshuva. Maral explains that when an animal has a mum, it goes back down to the dirt where it came from. When a person's neshama has a mum, it also goes back to where it came from. But it came from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he wrote a beautiful niggin to this, which I'm not going to try to sing to you, because I sing almost as well as Rabbi Ganowski. And L'maisa, okay? L'maisa, that's what we're saying here. We start saying Yugil Milas Arachim. Yugil Milas Arachim mean that we're repeating to ourselves. We're going over and over and drilling into ourselves. Because Baruch Hu loves us even like that. Not just he loves us, he wants us. But you know what else you have to do? You also have to accept everybody else the same way. Our friends aren't perfect. I'm not perfect. My friends aren't perfect. Saying Yud Gimel Midos Arachim over and over, it's not just saying it to Hashem. You really want Yud Gimel Midos Arachim for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to accept you like that? So in the next 2.5 weeks, you got to accept everyone else around you the same way. You have to say, I want Hashem to accept me like this. I'm going to accept my roommate. My roommate snores. He throws his dirty socks around. You know, people grab food, people push. You know, you go on the bus. Not everyone always acts in the greatest way. Say, Hashem, Hashem, we want Rosh Baruch Hu to accept us. With the Midas of Rachmim, I'm going to accept everybody else around me the same way. That's what I'm going to do. So over the next 2.5 weeks, we repeat the Yugil Midas of Rachmim, because that's the Torah we're getting. It's a Torah called the Baruch Hu accepts us as we are. So we have to, first of all, accept everyone around us like that. And you know what? We also have to accept ourselves. Last year for Yom Kippur, we saw an advertisement for an organization called Ayelet HaShachar here in Eretz Yisrael, which sends people to make a minyan in totally secular kibbutzim. We went to a kibbutz near Kfar Saba, a little bit north of Tel Aviv. There wasn't even a minyan. We had to bring like 8 people for there. But we made a minyan for Yom Kippur. There were people there for Kol Nidre, for davening. By the time we ended the end of the Eilah, there was a full room of people davening with us. And they asked me to introduce the different parts of davening. They said, we say Kol Nidre. All of my vows, my promises, should all be annulled. I said, which promises? Well, we're trying to get out of commitments that we make. Did I say which promises? Promises we made to ourselves. The way we view ourselves. Each and every one of us looks at ourselves in a very specific way. This is who I am. But you know what? We can change ourselves. We can be someone different. I'm not locked in to all the things I did this year. I'm not locked into a particular place. I know my own vows. I can be a different person if I want to. I can say, Hashem kel rachum v'chana. I say, Kodesh Baruch Hu, treat me with mercy. I'm going to treat everyone else around me that way. You know what I'm going to treat with the most compassion? Myself. I'm not going to put myself down. I'm going to lift myself up. I know that Kodesh Baruch Hu loves the kelim shvur and these shattered vessels. No, Kodesh Baruch Hu loves them. That's what He wants. And therefore, Kodesh Baruch Hu, I can approach you being positive. I can approach you in such a way. So that's Hashem Karachum Chai. But then what do? We say slichos. And you're looking at slichos. So every day, we say something different. If I'm not mistaken by Dota Mizrach, they basically repeat the same slichos day after day. Which makes sense. I should come to know it. Why do we say different slichos every single day? So, Moshe Rabbi, when he wanted to come into Eretz Yisrael, davened 515 times. There was a sefer, the Ramchal, Moshe Chaim Luzzatto. One wrote to Mesilas Yesharim. It's called Tak-Tu Tfilos. It's 515 different tfilos that he wrote, beseeching Kodesh Baruch Hu to send the Mashiach. And each one is different. They all begin with Kel Yochid Miyuchad, Hashem, the complete unity, and they end with Lishuascha Kivisi Hashem. But each one is different. I haven't looked at all 515 of them. But he's obviously following the pattern of Moshe Rabbeinu. Because you know what? Think about it. If you really want something, if you told no the first time, you'll find a reason the second time. If you told no the second time, you'll keep on going. If we really want something, we won't give up. I one time heard a story, I read a story. A person who owned a nursing home with mostly Jews in it. And there was a woman who was Jewish who wasn't religious. And she wanted cheeseburgers. She wanted bacon, whatever it was that she wanted. It's a big problem. You can't serve a Jew treif. And the woman threatened, if you don't bring me the cheeseburger I want, I'm going to report you to the State Board of Health. Then you'll lose your license to run a nursing home. Who are you to tell me what I eat? I can't eat. So what? If you're a religious Jew, I couldn't care less. I want my cheeseburger. I want my cheeseburger on Yom Kipur. The guy didn't know what to do. And somewhere or other, she decided she doesn't want a cheeseburger. So someone said to the guy, he said, what did you tell her? If you convince someone who's been eating cheeseburgers for 80 years to not eat a cheeseburger, tell us what you did. We'll use that approach also in Kiruv. The guy said, I have no idea. He said, so how did you do it? He said, I knew my livelihood was standing in balance. I would lose my license to run nursing homes. I'd lose my entire parnosa. I did something. I convinced her. What do we want so much? That we could daven 515 different ways to get what we want. What would we want so much? Not just repeat it over and over. What can we do that's different? My great-grandfather, whom I never met, my grandmother told me this. She said to me, her father, my great-grandfather, was a very fascinating person. I wish I could have met him. Said every time she got comfortable davening from a particular siddur, he'd take the siddur away and give her a different one. That was laid out differently. Different pages, different fonts, whole different siddur. She asked him once, why? I'm used to davening with this siddur. Why are you giving me something different? He said, I don't want you to get comfortable. I want you to think of something different. If you have to turn the pages differently, you'll daven a different way. I think part of the reason why we do something different every single day is it forces us to think. Some people, you're right, different words every day, got to figure out what they say. Some people give up. But those people who are thinking about what they're doing, you don't become complacent. Come on. There's Yerushalmi that says that the story. Shalosh Shvadron tells the story. I didn't hear it from him, but I saw it written down. The one thing is, if anyone go to the shuk, I don't mean at night when it's not the shuk. I mean during the day when you're buying, tomatoes. Okay, you go to the shuk. So there's lots of people, they're looking for tomatoes, everyone's looking, squeezing the tomatoes, the plums, whatever it is. Trying to find good food, good fruit. And he said he was in the shuk one day, and he's squeezing the, whatever they are, plums, whatever he's squeezing. All of a sudden he feels someone punch him in the chest. He looks around, what did I do? I grabbed your plums, I took your nectarines. Okay, fine. Keeps on going. And again, he's buying grapes, and someone punches him. All of a sudden he realized he's in shul, he's davening shachris, and he's up to slach lana. But his mind was wondering about the purchases he needs to make in the shuk later that day. There's a Rishomi that says that we should be grateful to our head because it bows down when we get to Modim. Slichus is so important. Every single day it's something different. So we have a choice. We can say it's too hard and not really bother. We can say, wow, every single day I can do something else. I'm not going to get bored. So therefore, every single day there's something different. And that's what our slichus is about. You're right. It's effort. It's hard. It's work. You know, if you do the same thing every time, it doesn't work so well. Okay? I'll finish the following idea. I saw in the Sfas Emes. He says like this. And this is to be mechazik us as we finish. There's halacha in certain areas of the animals of kachim you have to bring. Okay, you have to bring an animal that's a certain age. It says Yom Echad b'shana chashu shana. 1 day a year is considered a year. 1 day a year is considered a year. And there's another halacha here. If anyone knows what hour they were born, so day of your bar mitzvah, did you only put on tefillin after that hour came? You could put, someone was born at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you're on Yud Gimel Adar, okay? So comes Yud Gimel Adar 13 years later, Yud Gimel Adar. So, did you put on tefillin in the morning, or you waited till 3 o'clock in the afternoon to put on tefillin? Put it on in the morning. You're not really 13 years old. You're only 12 years, 364 days, and 17 hours. No, 1 hour a day is considered an hour. You can do the mitzvah already then. So put these two ideas together. 1 day in a year is considered a year, and 1 hour a day is considered an hour. Erev Rosh Hashana in the afternoon. If that hour is good, it could be a whole year. Now I'm not saying, okay, that means I got another 9 days to go till Sunday afternoon. Okay? But I'm saying every single moment we have, every single effort we make can be a whole year. If we do it well. If we take on the Yetzer Hara, we put ourselves in the shoes of Klal Yisrael, who are fighting the Yetzer Hara over again, but they know the Yetzer Hara doesn't give up. And they understand that Elul, we reenact, we relive that battle with the Yetzer Hara. We blow the shofar to remind ourselves we're engaged in combat. We go through the month. And then we establish a matzeva. We establish ourselves and understand what we did this year, what we accomplished. Ignore that which is bad, because bad really doesn't stand. What stands is the good. And put it all together and understand what we did. And we begin to say slichos. And we talk through the Yigul Milas HaRachman towards everyone around us, towards ourselves, and the Hakadosh Baruch Hu treats us with that also. And we try to break our habits. We try to do something different. Truth, I said I'd end, but I have one last thing that I have to say. Okay? Which is like this. I heard the name of the Alter Slobodkin. Imagine a fan. I heard this. I heard from someone who was saying over the words he heard from the Talmid of the Alter Slobodkin. They used to call a fan in Hebrew and Yiddish a ventilator, a farleshed ventilator. You have a fan, okay, and the fan is spinning around really fast, and you unplug it. Is the fan still spinning quickly? Yeah, but it's about to die. When you turn the fan on the first moment, the fan is spinning slowly, right? But it's on. Choose which one we are. Are we the fan that's spinning quickly, but it's already unplugged? Are we the fan even if it's spinning slowly, but it's still plugged in and it's building up? Again, no one expects us to be perfect. Expects us to move in the right direction. If right now, we may be spinning slowly, but we're plugged in, and we're using our connection because we want to build up, that's great. But if not, Chalila, we may be spinning quickly, but we're already unplugged, we're not going anywhere. We should be zeicher to use this unbelievable time of the year to build ourselves up, to respect ourselves, to work on something that heads us in the right direction, and remain connected. And then we'll end Yom Kippur the way we're supposed to. Everyone who's here, what can I say? I was in our David many, many years ago. We started in what year? 82? She was started in Elul of Mem Aleph in 82, 83, in 81, 82? Is that when she did? What?
Yeah.
I was at a Hashana when I was in America. I went to a Hashana. It was a double simcha. Because the Kalo was a Talmidah of my wife, the Kalo's father was an older David boy. I got unbelievable nachas to be there. Yeah, Bez Hashem, Granowski can look back at all these years and look forward to seeing nachas from all of you. Good Kibben Shtiar.